Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I will be talking about a few things that not many people talk about. So I'm going to put up a trigger warning that I will be talking about self-harm and suicide thoughts. So if you are a person that is currently thinking about that, this video isn't for you. The reason I'm doing this video is because on the 2nd of December 2023 I reached 500 days without self-harming. Also, I'm doing this video because I want people to know that it is okay to not be okay, and to show people that they are not alone in this and you can get help. So it all started when I was 12 turning 13, so that was nearly, well, it was 10 years ago, but it's nearly 11 years ago, when I became friends with a girl, which soon I wish I never became friends with her. She was already not mentally okay. I spent way too long with her. I lost friends because of her, which made me not great, and also my mental health went downhill from then. So I started self-harming. I'm not proud of it. Over the years I'm not at all. Then over the year or so I drifted away from this other person that I was friends with. I thought I would be better with my mental health. Like I'd get better, and due to me drifting away. But I learned the hard way that no, it didn't. Maybe towards the end of high school, but no. Due to me self-harming, I lost a lot of friends. It wasn't great. But some teachers saw that I've done it also, and due to me being under the age of 18, my parents had to get involved, called in, and that also meant at home my parents had to hide things, which made it worse really at the time. But I learnt now that it's for my own good, really. I started seeing a counsellor at my school. There was only one at the time, because it was a brand new school. She wasn't the best. Well, at least at the time I thought she wasn't. I didn't really want the help, but in the end I pretended to be okay when I wasn't, and then I stopped seeing her. At the time my family had some issues, which isn't good for anyone, but especially for me, it just made me feel worse. So also with my mental health, it got that bad that I had to see a psychologist outside of school. Also, throughout the years of school, my mental health went up and down. Probably year 11, that's when I left school. 2017. I was good and bad, I guess. It got hard in year 11. I thought I would graduate high school, but I didn't. So I left school thinking to make it easier, but no, just I realised that outside of school is harder. Well, thinking back to it, I kind of wish that I stayed at school and graduated, because really once I left school 2018, that's my first year outside of school, and it just got worse. But then after like a year or so it was alright until something huge happened. But before I say that, there were some good things that happened in my first year of outside of school. I got my first 2 full-time jobs. There was a childcare centre. I was learning to be one of them, and also a junior orthodontic assistant, which both of them were very hard. Well, the first one wasn't as hard, but the second one was definitely hard, which ended me leaving. Well, both of them obviously I ended leaving. My mental health wasn't as bad after I left the junior orthodontic assistant. Like, yeah, I may have my problems, little problems, upset and stuff, but it wasn't like a big thing. So the next year, 2019, I got probably the best job I've had. It was at a Kmart. If you're from Australia, you would know. I started in June and didn't want to leave at all, but I had to in December 2019, which I was not okay with because I actually had to move to a different state. So I was in New South Wales all my life, mainly all my life, and then I moved up to Queensland, which I thought at the time was horrible. Lost all my friends, lost my job, had to start out new. So at the time when we eventually moved up, it was actually a few weeks before Christmas, and as you all know, COVID-19 was around. It was at its worst when we moved, so I couldn't get a new job, I couldn't make new friends, I couldn't socialise outside, so we were all stuck at home. So that's when my mental health got down, as I know it was at its definitely worst it's ever been. So now it was in 2020, since I only moved at the end of 2019, COVID-19 was still around, and I just found out that I have epilepsy. That was great. I couldn't drive now. If you want to know more about my epilepsy, I do have a video. I'll link it in the description below. So with me and my epilepsy, also at the time I did get COVID, I was restricted from doing stuff. I didn't have a job. None of my old friends bothered to call me, but eventually they did. Which I am sorry if I didn't reply back to you, my old friends. My mental health wasn't great. So at the time, you can definitely tell with all this stuff that happened, my mental health was hitting the ground at its worst. At first it was easy to hide from people around me, but it got to the point where it was definitely hard to hide. Due to me losing friends and my mental health going down, I did something which is not great. So if you're going through bad mental health at the moment and you're doing stuff to yourself, please don't go ahead and listen to this part, or listen to the rest of this part really. It just keeps on going down. But towards the end of the video you can listen to, because in the end it is going to be great. When my mental health was going down and down, I got told, in case this happened again, obviously in the past, to try and do things to help it. Well, I tried and tried. It didn't work. So I ended up doing what at the time I thought would help, obviously didn't, self-harming again. But it was worse this time. Yeah. Also, I had started thinking about these thoughts that I never thought it would happen to me at all. These thoughts were suicide thoughts. They were taking over my life. It started once a week, once a day, and then several times a day. It wouldn't leave my thoughts. My parents noticed the change of my behaviour, about not caring anymore, staying in my room most of the day, wearing clothes that would hide my scars. Even if it's hot, I'd wear something that covers it. Not eating as much also. And looking back also, even though I just said not eating as much, I look back and I did put on weight for some reason, a lot. I've seen photos. Now this also is a part that definitely gets triggering for people. So if you are easily triggered, please do not watch the rest. So one night, it's probably the worst night I've had. I had already done something, I'm not going to say it, you probably know from what I've said before. I had these thoughts, it was at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I am surprised I did this. I had to call 000 in Australia, that's what you call it. In America it's 911. Also before that I called these numbers that would help. They said for me to call, or they would have to call for me. So when the ambulance came, this was all new to me. I've rarely gone in an ambulance in general. I was very upset. My parents obviously had to wake up. They believed that I didn't need to go, but I did have to go. Yeah, the people that came said that I had to go to the hospital. When I got there, it was an eye-opener in the mental health part of the hospital. I was restricted from everything. Couldn't even have my phone, couldn't even charge my phone. You had to ask for your phone. In the end I had to stay there for 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks felt like months. When I was at the hospital, I had to see a psychologist, and they had to ask me all these questions about myself, and in the end they diagnosed me with BPD, borderline personality disorder. I will put it down below, like what is it and stuff, or you can just search it up yourself. It's hard to explain. But when I came out of hospital, they had to make sure I went out properly, that someone that I knew was there. They had to give me a call when I left the hospital. After a week even, call. They connected me to a few places. So after, probably like a month after I came out of hospital, I had to do this type of therapy. It's called Dialectical behaviour therapy. think that's what it's called. Yes, that's what it's called. If like I had to go every week. If I didn't go, I would have to go into hospital again. I'll also put down below what it's about. So over the next year, I went in and out of hospital many times. I was well known in the hospital. It wasn't fun. But this is the next part where it gets better. In July 2022 was the last time I self-harmed. So it's been over now. Since I started this video, it was 500 days since I last self-harmed, which I am proud of. Things were starting to look up for me. So now, that year I turned 22 when I thought I wouldn't. In October that year, last year, I met my current partner, where I'm still partners with him. At the start of this year, I went to see Ed Sheeran, for the second time, mind you. This year has been also not a great year. I still haven't done anything bad. I have my partner with me that helps me, and the stuff I've learned over the years that help. I am so glad that I'm still here. I turned 23 like a few months ago. I thought I'd never reach 20 really, but if any of these topics made you think about someone that may be going through, or even yourself, please get that person help, or try at least yourself to get the help. I know it's hard, trust me, I know. Just know that you are not alone. Please know that there are numbers you can call, there's stuff online, you can talk to people, or even your mum and dad, even if they're not. I will put some of those things in my description. I hope you got something out of this video. I'm hoping I did help you in some sort of way. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it's not the best video, but I did get better in the end. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.